Now, they've got these murders down there in Atlanta, Georgia. I offered my condolences on behalf of the ATLAH ministry, condolences as well to the families and friends of those people. 8 people were killed a week or so ago down there in Atlanta. And I think 3 of the places that they were killed, or places that were killed, were 3 massage parlors or spas or whatever it is that they call them. And but I posted up a video stating that Asians are Hamites. By that I mean they come from the son of Ham. They're not Jewish, to be sure, you know that. And they ain't Japheth. They ain't white. You know that, so that don't leave much choice for them to be anything else. They're Hamites. And there's a big debate going on now as to whether or not this is a hate crime. The fact that young Japheth boy went and killed all them people. 6 of them were women, and they were all Asian women. So is this a hate crime? And they try to, Christopher Wray, who's the head of the FBI, says he don't have evidence to demonstrate that this is a hate crime. Now, I understand the criteria that establishes whether it's a hate crime or not, but everybody knows that it is, What I haven't heard them say is a sex maniac crime. The guy said, and this is what really needs to be reported on. I mean, the hate crime, yeah, and there's a whole lot of marches of Asian people. But what really needs to be reported on, this guy's a sex maniac. He said had a sexual addiction. Okay, that's a polite way of saying he's a maniac. He was a sex maniac. And I think that, where there's some real digging into this boy's background, you probably find this boy been hanging out with at a lot of brothels, frequenting a lot of prostitutes. I think he was a sexual maniac, a Charles Manson, is what he looked like to me, if you ask me, And that's the thing that you don't hear very much about. But that's the thing what we need to hear. Well, I guess, I don't know if we need to hear it. You ain't gonna tell you. I'll tell you. You can trust me to tell you. The boy's a maniac, And the other thing is that there could be some tension. The reason why they don't want to call it a hate crime, because it was against Asians or women, is because he may have known these women personally, or there may be something they've discovered on his website, or he may have been sending them text messages, or he may have been visiting those places before, and he may have known them for the last 3 or 4 years, or 5, 6 years. This maniac, and then he went and killed them all. Like a crazed husband going and kill his wife or girlfriend or something. That's what I think. But they ain't gonna tell you that. But I don't know that to be fact, because now you got to, everybody's algorithming me, listen to what I'm saying, trying to find a way to do me harm, But that's what I think. They said he was a sex. And then what was worse, bald-headed sheriff from down there in Cherokee County, right? That guy, bald-headed, like Mr. Spock or somebody, down there in Cherokee County, the sheriff, right? Up there, spokesperson for the Cherokee County Sheriff Department said, he was just having a bad day. I said, damn. I swore. Said the boy was having to kill 8 people. And the sheriff, the law enforcement officer said, well, you just having a bad day. I rolled over on the floor when I heard that one. I said, doggone. Then this guy Ron Johnson up there in the Senate, right, says that, well, on January 6th, when they attacked the Temple of Democracy, well, he wasn't afraid. No, sirree, because he knows the people that were doing that he knows that they're law. I can't even keep a straight face when I say it. He said that they're law-abiding. Ron Johnson, a senator too, and been doubling down over the last couple of weeks. Says, no, these are law-abiding citizens. These are people who love our country, and they're law-abiding. So I wasn't afraid that when they were storming the Senate and the Congress. He says, now had there been Black Lives Matter or Antifa, And then 2 weeks after, this 21-year-old down there in Atlanta, right, kills 8 people. The sheriff said he was having a bad day. I tell you. There he is. That's him. Hey, look at him. Look at you, a Brenner or somebody. Y'all know who Hugh Brent is. Read about him. But no, I think that the boy is a maniac. That's what I think. And what I think is, is always right. And he would kill all. I really regret that. There's a lot of people said that, there's a lot of crimes against Asian people. And there are. Here right here in New York, the Asian people, people are picking on, especially Asian women and old Asian men. I tell y'all something, you better be careful. Some of these Asian women and men know some kung fu, some taekwondo. You better watch yourself, homie. You're going to fool around and push an old Asian man, and that ball going to jump up like Bruce Lee. Somebody say that's stereotype. It isn't. Why is everything got to be racist? A lot of people call me that. They say, well, you're racist, he's this, he's that, he's the other. But it's true. South Korean people they know the arts. They do. Chinese people too. And just because they're old don't mean they're out of the loop. I tell you what, though, I think America has a serious race problem. She does. There's no doubt about that. There's some serious problems among the races in America, and they're not getting better. They're getting worse. They are. It used to be just, anti-Semitism, that people against Jews and against, Hamites. And Asians are Hamites, but, they paid a lot of attention to. But, they did do the internment out there in Japan during the Second World War. They put all those Japanese people out there in them cages out there and held them out there for years. Figured they were all enemies. People born in San Francisco in America, California, they didn't know about no Tokyo or Tokyo Rose. And America rounded them up, like cattle. So that America has a race problem, and she, just needs to be able to deal with it. I can prognosticate this, that you're not going to solve America's race problem. There were marches I didn't attend in these marches. I don't usually get involved in that kind of stuff. But there were a big march in New York. You got to watch out for these politicians. I can tell you that now. It's another thing. Chuck Schumer was out there yesterday here in New York. He's out there yesterday talking about it, and he's for the Asians, and they are being ill-treated, and they're the forgotten people. And on and on, he just lied through his teeth. But these politicians, they only come out there because they want your vote. They don't really care nothing about when you get killed or not. They don't want your vote. Everybody knows that about politicians. Politician wants your vote worse than a waitress diner can pick up a $5 tip. They want you. They just want you to vote for them. That's all that Chuck Schumer wants. That boy, I don't care nothing about no Asian people. You don't. Yeah, I'm telling you, say, Pastor Benny, how can you read the man's heart? You don't know anything about him. Yes, I do. I've known Chuck Schumer for years. I remember the boy was a car. I remember when he was just running around over there in Brooklyn. He wasn't even in the House of Representatives. I remember his first campaign to become a congressman. I know him. He and that Charles Rangel boy about the same time. But it is, they're now the politicians are all jumping on it because they're looking for somebody to vote for them, right? And on and on. At any rate, my friends, I do, again, express my sympathy and my condolences for the people that are suffering. This is symbolic. It's where Jesus was baptized. It's where John baptized. And so this is not a rebaptism. It's just a symbolic, if you will, act of what we're going to do, being in the water at the place where Jesus was baptized. And what I'd like to do is to baptize today, that we would come to terms with the understanding of what God is calling for in righteousness. He's not calling for prosperity. He isn't calling for culturalism. God is calling for righteousness. If we would commit ourselves to fulfill all righteousness, and God has calls us to be persecuted for righteousness' sake, as John was persecuted for righteousness, and so Jesus. I got to tell you that I'll never forget this experience of actually stepping in the water where Jesus were baptized, and where John is baptized so many people. This is such a historic and a powerful, powerful sight. Just to touch the water was so critical. And I'm glad that people got baptized to have that experience. It was a safe experience and a great experience. I'm not even going to change my clothes. I want to just stay in baptism mode until I get back to the hotel.
So that's what I want to say. All right.
This has been live from the Jordan River. God bless you all. Peace.
Get everybody. Righteousness. Boom, chakalaka goes right there.
My mother started liking the school and let me come here every single year. It has been 5 years and now I'm in the 7th grade. I still love this school. It has taught me a lot of things about the world and all around it, and let me see things I've never seen before, like me participating in the history fair last year. I would like to give thanks to all my classmates for making me feel comfortable and at home here. Please, to all the new and old parents in the school, don't take your kids out of the school because it will probably be the biggest mistake you've ever made. No matter what type of child you have, this school will shape it into a world's leader. So do yourselves a favor. Oh my goodness. Okay. So do yourselves a favor and keep your kids here till they graduate, and it will change yours and your child's life. Peace and blessings.
Over the years, we have served more than 1 million meals to hungry bellies and hungry people here in the Harlem community. And I wanted you to be able to see that. I want you to see our involvement with youth, our summer youth programs, our courtyard being used as a place where children can be safe, guarded, and protected as they have their miniature swimming pools. And a safe place for children to eat that is guarded, that is protected by our own sense of security, and the wholesome and fresh meals that we serve. We wanted you to be able to see the mission of this church, and we've been doing this for years. Just recently, one of our members, more than a 30-year member of this church, but it hasn't, not one that that you would probably find as members of some other churches with their nose stuck up in the air. But her father is now close to death or very sick in the state of South Carolina. And I said to her, well, because she doesn't have money, I said, we will buy you a bus ticket, a round trip bus or train ticket for you to travel to South Carolina to be with your father in this time of pandemic. There's very little funding around. There's sickness everywhere. And the thing that just blew me away was she said, as she was talking to Elizabeth, she said, but how are you going to do that, to pay for me a round trip ticket to travel and give me expense money? And because Pastor Manning has to feed the children, he has to educate the children, he has to buy school supplies for them. He has to pick them up in the mornings and take them back. And then he's got the ministry he has to take care of, all the bills of running the church, of keeping a major house like our house operational, keep the lights on, how are you going to be able to do that? And she was almost reluctant to take the money because she felt that it would be better served by feeding the children. We gave it to her anyway. But we want you to know that we do a work in this community. There have been a lot of lies told on us. And it's almost unimaginable why some of the people that have lied on us. But I can tell you behind all of it is the LGBTQ community. Hallelujah. They don't want us to be successful, but we are, and we're going to continue to be successful in serving the meals that we're serving and serving the people that we are. And the LGBTQ community will not take us down. They are not going to take our church. Yet they've defamed us. They've written ugly newspaper articles about us. They've marched against us. They've done a whole lot of ugly things. But you see what we have done, and that's not even the half of our service to children and to the needy in terms of our homeless shelters and the things that we've done over the years. And we will continue. And probably the lies and the smears and the ugly newspaper articles and the wicked spirits and the so-called I ain't for the black man, that is not going to go away. I don't expect it to go away. I don't. But I do tell you this, that we will succeed against all of that, for God is with us, and I am his servant.